Cool. Good. All right.
If I have to be in one more Zoom meeting, I think I'm gonna lose my mind. Sorry. I think I should have muted myself. Alright, look. I think we're all to that point in our lives in 2020 where we're just done. I think. It's not just me, right? Now look, I don't think it's because of the quarantine thing. Look, I've been doing like a lot of like personal thinking, of being in my head. That's what happens when you have to sit in your room for extended amounts of time, like 15, 20 hours a day. I think at the end of the day, I've learned quite a valuable lesson just sitting in my room by myself. Now, like, I'm not saying that it's like perfect, like it's perfect, like I'm like doing really good now, but I think we'll be okay. I have been editing, recording music, studying, a lot of studying actually, and just thinking, what else is there to do? I can only play so much Call of Duty. I can only read so many books. Speaking of which, good read. I'll get back into this in a second. But like, I think it's time that we all just kind of consider the following. 2020 has taught us that no matter how crazy everything seems to be, kind of just gotta stay calm. Alright, look, I have been trapped in my room for the past 7 months, right? March, April, May, June, July, September, yeah, 7 months, 6 months. And I think I've learned a lot just by sitting in my room. So here's my list of things that I've kind of learned over the past couple months. 1, it's okay to be me. It's okay to have emotions. It's okay to feel sad, but it's also okay to be happy. It's okay to be a little depressed, as long as you know that at the end of the day, things are gonna be okay. Now, it's not a perfect solution to a million problems that happen in a day, but I think it's been important to know that things are gonna be okay. 2, family. Look, I'm not the type of person that like speaks a lot about family, but it's super important to really be appreciative of what you have family-wise. I've been lucky enough to talk to many people, and the one theme that consistently always comes up in conversations with people that I know is family. It's relationships with parents, relationships with siblings, relationships with cousins and other family members, but it's always that one conversation of family. And now, family doesn't necessarily just have to mean like relatives. It also can mean like friend groups. It can also be church groups. Hillsong Blessed Fam, we're back. But it's super key. I have been more than blessed to sit in my house with 4 people for the past 5 months. No, but I think it's been good. It's been good to really come closer as a family. 3, what to do when you're bored / alone / have nothing better to do. Now, in the past, I used to be on my phone all the time. I would binge watch TikToks. I would binge watch Netflix shows. I would be on YouTube all the time, scrolling through social media. And that's not really the most productive thing in the world. And what I mean by that is that why are we always on our phones? See, my whole stance on the whole social media and fold thing has changed quite a bit. And I kind of blame my friend Taylor. Taylor, if you're watching this, I'm sorry, but it's true. Really, it's changed so much. I watched this documentary called The Social Dilemma, and I think a lot of people have seen it already, and it's starting to change people's minds. But I kind of already knew some of the stuff that was happening in that documentary. I kind of already knew some of the things that were being explained by all these specialists, because it's a little bit of no common sense, but there are other things that, like, psychologically wise, make sense. Dang. Nothing. Come on. Yo, I stopped this person like 3 hours ago and they're just responding. What is that? Hey, look, I'm not a social media expert by like any means, but I think there is more to it than just liking people's stuff. And some of the things that they talked about in that documentary make sense. How often do you actually check your phone and there's 0 notifications on it? Personally, I tap my screen to see if there's a notification, and like it was like 65% of the time I had like a notification, and it was like Urban Outfitter sending me some sort of deal. It is what it is. But like, how often do you actually check your phone in one day? How many times do you pick it up? I looked at my data, and it's like 183 times in one day. I'm like, what can I be doing? I saw my usage for TikTok for 1 week. I spent like 10 hours. That's like a whole workday and like some that I could have dedicated to studying, to mastering some music, making a video. But instead, what? I'm scrolling away endlessly at some short little entertainment bursts. Now, there's this whole thing with like social media and like dopamine release and the reward pathway that you have in your brain. And I can get very, very like nerdy here. But in the example of The Social Dilemma, they talked about how it's like a lottery slot machine. How you like play the game in hopes that you're gonna win something. And when you do, it's like a small little minute amount, but it gives you this like pleasure sensation that you did something. But again, who am I? I'm just a 22-year-old kid who sits in his room for 16 hours a day. But, and like the good thing is that we can still fix it. We're not too far away from it. I was once talking to one of my friends. She stated, quote, "The need for human attention," end quote. I think that quote was super important. Like, I think we all struggle with that. I think we all strive to have genuine human connection, genuine human attention. And that's just like humans 101. We're not really meant to just do things alone. We're meant to experience life with other people, with family members, with friends, with schoolmates, with work. I can't remember the word, colleagues, with work colleagues. And like, we sit here and we just endlessly scroll at these little minute 0.5 second attention grabbers and think that's life. We think that every time that we post something on Instagram or we post something on Facebook that we're gonna get 1 million likes really quickly and people are gonna comment, "Oh my god, amazing." If you watched my last video, I don't think it was my last video, I think it was like 2 videos ago, I made a vlog, and almost like to the date, I was talking about this stuff. I was talking about how social media and how everything that's around us has evolved into like one little moot point, and that's just being on our phones. There has to be more to that. And I think if quarantine has taught me anything is that I miss everyone. Not just a couple people, but everyone. I miss being able to go to a Starbucks and people watch. I worked at a Starbucks. I have so many stories that I could talk about. Now I'm working as an EMT and I see people when they need you the most. And that human connection that you get is something that's irreplaceable by technology. It's not something that we can just mimic or recreate using ones and zeros. It's something that is genuine. It's this attraction between people. Now it's just being on our phones. We can't sit in a room with people because we're just scrolling away. When we're uncomfortable, we scroll away. When we feel sad, we just scroll away. When we feel happy, we scroll away. It's not something that we just can do for once and let it go. It's consistent. And one of the quotes that they said in the Social Dilemma, they said, "Our phones have become like pacifiers, where we kind of just sit there and use it when we need it, when we feel uncomfortable and we have nothing else to do, and it's hurting us. Now we can't sit in our own rooms by ourselves doing anything. We can't read a book anymore. I mean, we can, but we would much rather be on our phones. Personally, I would much rather be watching TikToks than reading a book. And it's this. It's been shown that when you become a better person yourself, it reflects to other people. That's just the way life works. You learn and take all of these experiences to make yourself a more rounded person. That way, if something happens, you know a way to react to the situation. Or if something good happens, you know how to enjoy it. There's more to life than just being on your phone. You never know how much potential you can unlock by simply putting your phone down. Yeah. Alright, this video's done. Enjoy the sunset.
I see you pulling up to meet me in your car. I know you didn't have to drive, you don't live far from me. I know we're friends, but baby, something's on my mind. So I apologize for taking all this time, but I got to tell you. Now can I pretend I don't love you like I do? Now can I pretend I don't love you like I do? No. So should I pretend that the feeling isn't true? No, can I pretend I don't love you like I do?